crucial to absolutely nail, because you can really make some time if anybody makes a mistake, as Danish found out the hard way a few laps ago.
Yes, absolutely. It really can mess with your lap time, can't it? If you lose that momentum and just mess up those sections, because the corners fit together so wonderfully that you just have that concertina effect, really, don't you? If you fluff one bit, you're in it for the long haul, unfortunately. But here is that battle then, just behind that leading group. At the moment, Adaki leading it, but there's 4 of them now, and then a bit of a gap back to the others. So this was a huge freight train a few laps ago, nearer the start of the race, but now just starting to kind of move out into little pockets of 3-4 riders fighting it out. We'll have to see though, because everything can change in the ATC, especially when that gaggle of riders punches a little bit bigger hole in the air.
Yeah, 6.8 seconds they are adrift from any sort of podium spot, so they're definitely fighting for the Wooden Spoon Award, 4th position, but it's more about the results
favourite
than the progression. Yeah, me too. It's the only one I ever would have got in Sports Day back in the day, but here we are. Adaki, that is a good performance. I mean, you expect a little bit more from him, having taken a race win already, but I think we can't really take away what an impressive performance this is from a rookie, as we see another rookie head back into P1.
Yeah, exactly. I think Adaki as well. Oh, it's close again there between those two. Those different lines really making me a little bit nervous with the camera angle. But yeah, Adaki definitely, I think, will need points on the board today. He can't have another crash, so if he's not got more than 4th is a very good finish for a rookie and for any rider, really. So yeah, main objective for him will be take as many points as possible, and if it's not in the podium battle, then so be it, but it has to be a finish.
Yeah, worth pointing out as well, the pace from this trio out front is significantly quicker than those behind them. You got Danish, the only rider in the 144s last time around, and the other 2 were in the 145.2s, but that won't help any sort of lap times as Mie heads back through into the lead once again on his hours. So Danish, he's got these 2 back up. He's really sort of settled in now after that little trio of mistakes that he made earlier on. So a bit calmer for the Malaysian at the moment. Yeah,
you think he's probably got a little bit more of a more regular heartbeat now, back on the back of them, and no stress. They've not escaped into to make it a duel for the win. But yeah, Aizawa then just a little mistake from the number 21 there, and Gunmie needing no second invitation to head through into the lead. We still have a fair way to go in this race, so good news for us. It looks like we're going to get a great fight to the finish between these guys. But yeah, I don't know, we can't call it at the moment, can we? Gunmie though, seemingly a little bit less flustered than the others. We've not seen too many mistakes today from the number 5. It's a really solid job, because let's not forget, Adaki needs that finish, but so does Gunmie, because he also crashed out yesterday and took 0 points. I think he's about to lose the lead though.
Yeah,
he is indeed.
Is really impressive from Aizawa. That sort of moved the difference in line choice there. Gotta say, just perfectly executed once again. You can almost tell the difference from the start of the race to the end of it, how much he's learned just following these 2 with a year of extra experience on these bikes under their belts, and also more laps around this circuit too.
Yeah, I was wondering about Adaki off the start. Obviously at the time the Japanese rider had trying to stay ahead of Hakim Danish and losing out, but then I thought, well, if you do follow him, obviously with the advantage he had yesterday, maybe he'll unlock some secrets to Mandalika. But no, it wasn't to be for the number 14, and at the moment these guys seemingly needing no help from the Malaysian to stay at the front of this race, and really close again there. It's still 5 laps to go after this one, guys. Let's keep it nice and calm.
Yeah, that was a real noticeable difference in the way that Aizawa was breaking out towards turn 10 than it was earlier on. He couldn't have any answers for Mie or Danish, who were trying to make an overtaking move round the outside no less earlier on, but that time he just sort of let his brakes off. That was just brilliant. You're seeing visual learning here in the Telent, which is what this series is frankly all about.
It is, absolutely. It's all about the progress, like winning podiums, that's all great as well, of course, but it's also about the progress you make throughout the season. And yeah, speaking of progress, Gunmie making some more there.
Yeah, absolutely nailed that drive out of turn 14 and through turn 15, making that overtake stick and towards turn 16. We're back on the new section of asphalt that we got there. You can see it's much darker than before. That's what caught a few riders out yesterday. This first section, you can't, if it has rain, you can't see any damp patches because it's pretty much the same colour. No such problems today though with the dry weather. The tone of the race is starting to change, Fran. 5 laps to go, and it's looking a little bit more about jostling for position rather than pulling out a lead ahead even more from the 4th place, who are now 8 seconds back.
Yeah, they've pulled out that gap bit by bit, haven't they? And it's definitely a podium to lose for these guys. So hopefully we won't see any drama and we'll get a nice clean shuffle to decide this race. But yeah, it's getting a little bit more frantic at the front, isn't it? Especially the number 21 of Ozawa and number 5 of Gunmie looking a little bit more elbows out, aggression, ready to really take it to each other. But we'll see how we get. Oh, yeah, you see, just for once proving me right. Number 21, really different line there, but I think Mie's got it covered. He has indeed.
That was a cracking camera angle. We've not really seen that one before,
no,
have we? That was someone's clearly moved the cameraman up there. Here's a great slow-mo of turn 17, the final corner, that changeover onto the newer asphalt. We're watching Gunmie navigate his way through the final corner, knee down, scraping against the curbs there. They are a little bit raised, so you get a little bobble on, and perfectly in the bubble, straight out of it. Here we go then, down towards turn 10 once again, and we've got Danish, who's right on the back of them now, looking to try and make some moves. No, it's not turn 10, got the camera angle confused again. It's out turn 14, that was. Looks pretty similar, but they've got, I think that's Akbar ahead of them. A back marker coming out. Yes, he's okay. He's let them through after his crash earlier on, thankfully.
Yeah, that's good stuff then from the wildcard. Good racecraft. Also important part of learning. But Danish then has picked another pocket and up into 2nd place. Maybe the Malaysian is ready to try and push and get in the battle at the front again, elbows out, because it was quite the Ozawa Mie show for a couple of laps there with the Malaysian just hanging back. But at the moment, though, still nothing to decide between them. But we do have some long lap penalties that have just come up on the timing screen. Yeah, unfortunately, your podium finisher from yesterday, Fadilla, is going to have to go through the long lap penalty lane. He's currently in 6th position. Then we've also got one for number 19. That's Hafi, the Malaysian, who's down in 14th place, just behind Puetizan, about 2/10 behind the Thai rider. Will also have to go through a long lap penalty. This is why we say you got to avoid not just, well, the green. You can't be taking shortcuts like we saw Danish do at this exact point in the circuit, well, about half the race ago now. Yeah, it was a while ago now. The number 13's kept it nice and tidy since those few little mistakes he had. But yeah, certainly it's going to be a painful one as well, with not much time left in the race to try and get back on terms with the riders you're fighting at the moment. That long lap penalty is going to certainly put a dent in Fadilla's finishing position and Hafi as well. Wow. So we'll see, but so far so good for the front runners. I think Danish was obviously just making a couple of errors rather than trying to be too cheeky. Well, he nearly made another one there. He did indeed. Turn 12, he had a big twitch going through there. We saw a few MotoGP riders go down at that point on the circuit yesterday. Lost a bit of ground, a bit of drive out of turn 14 into this 15-16 sort of combined corner that they've got. So inviting for an overtake. I'll be fascinated to see, and I'm sure plenty of Moto3 riders in the World Championship will be eager to see what sort of overtaking moves are made into that section, how the race is won exactly, because there are a variety of options that you've got in that final section. There are indeed. So here we go then. There's 3 more after this one, but Gunmie then moving to try and take the lead, but no, Danish then keeping it nice and tidy, the number 13. He leads once again. There you can see the confirmation of the long laps for Fadilla and Hafi, but and we've still got a group of 4 battling here then. I think that's the Adaki-led battle for 2nd. Correct. So the yellow helmet of Wakamatsu, which is always a dead giveaway. But yeah, there we go, number 14. Fadilla, wow. There we go. God, that was like a late decision. Mistake. Yeah. Goodness. So through he goes, and unfortunately that is his battle for 4th pretty much over and done with. 3 laps to go. Ain't no chance with this sort of pace. So he will be going for that. And who was that? That was Mie, who nearly did the full Carter Thompson from yesterday. You've got to be so careful with your line choice there, but he won't get penalised for that because, well, unfortunately, he's lost so much time already. Can he get settled once again, though? Because he's not actually lost that much ground. He's not lost as much as you'd think, given that he even had his hand in the air like, I'm off here, I'm off. But nicely saved then from the number 5, a little bit dramatic. Is this a replay already? He just went wide. He just a little bit offline. Wide, like just a little bit, a metre or so, and you are nearly over the bars. The presence of mind to raise your hand in that situation as well always blows my mind. Everything goes in slow motion at that sort of speed. just be panicking and maybe just lightly screaming to myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, nicely saved then from the number 5. I'm sure he's had a bit of a spike of adrenaline from that. Let's see if he can just settle back down and tag back onto the back of this duo. At the moment though, Danish with a couple of meters in hand behind him, but it can all change so quickly in the Asia Talent Cup. Yeah, let's see if Ozawa can get back on terms with him.
You talk about a little adrenaline spike. I think that would have been the same for Ozawa, who had a grandstand view of Mie's near error there. So he's chasing back on to Hakim Danish at the moment. Just needs to get settled. The gap as they came across the line was 0.4 of a second. Not much if he manages to get this next section nailed. We're in towards turn 2, turn 3. The difference in line choices between these two here. This is really crucial to nail your run out onto the flat out section of turn 4. It's about full throttle from now, and they do it all the way towards turn 10. So line choice is key at this moment.
It is, and I think, don't want to call it too early, but I think Mie is going to be out of this fight for the win at the moment. Japanese rider may be saying, you know what, after a crash yesterday, 16 points is pretty grande for me today, because these two really starting to pull out some ground now.
Yeah, I got to say, I think that was another mistake from Danish. His line choice wasn't nailed, and he just let Ozawa catch right onto the back of him once again, so that little advantage that he had is well and truly gone. So we've got a proper battle royale on this penultimate lap of round 2 in the Asia Talent Cup. Mie, well,
maybe I called it too soon.
9/10 of a second. He's closing in again, but will it be fast enough? That's the big question for the Japanese rider.
This is the thing. You've got to arrive on the scene and then have time to make that move as well. Danish again.
Another 10th for Mie. So he's catching. He's going for it. He's giving it absolutely everything.
Yeah, it really looked like he just dropped off the back of them quite significantly in the first part of that lap. But no, he's coming, isn't he? The number 5, gunning for glory here. I'm sorry. Sometimes you've got to do it.
He's shooting for first position.
He is indeed in a big mistake there from Ozawa.
His countryman, well, goes so wide. He's back on towards P2. Ozawa gives a little shake of the head. He's frustrated with himself. Does that leave Danish, as we head on to this last lap, in prime position to take second win here in Mandalika?
I think it may well do. Just the Malaysian needs to realise that he is alone at the front. Keep it nice and tidy, the number 13 now, because we have seen him in the green a few times. From Ozawa then, not too much harm done, is that he's still in this podium battle, but he's also lost out on that second position, so we've got an all Japanese duel for second here.
Let's look at the intermediates as they come out of section 1. So Mie is 9/10 of a second adrift from Danish. What about when they come through these sort of sections, they get towards intermediate 2? What will the gap be then? Danish doesn't have great line choice characteristically through here, but I think that time when he needed to most, he absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, I think he did indeed. So, they're not that far behind, are they? The number 13, any little tiny mistake
now, so that's 0.15 of a second.
That's incredible, isn't it? You can see them visually getting closer and closer. I don't know if they're going to have enough time, though, to really make an attack. We will have to see. At the moment, though, Mie hanging on to that second place, and the number 5 really giving it everything to try and be in this fight for the win.
Look what this will do for the championship, though. 1 point will be separating Hakim Danish, who will take the lead from Ozawa. If it stays like this, Mie, time is running out for him. I think it is too late. It looks like Ozawa has settled for 3rd place. Tranduk Tai has gone down at turn 16. That was a lap ago. These are the final corners. I think it's going to be glory for Danish once again here for the Malaysian. Just one more corner to go. It's too little too late for Mie, but still a second place will be sensational. Out the final corner the Malaysian comes. It's going to be glory once again for the number 13 from Mie, and then Ozawa takes the podium. What a race that was once again here in Indonesia.
That was .272 in the end for Mie. Absolutely incredible. And here's that second group then fighting for 4th place in the end. Adaki held onto that from Wakamatsu. Another solid job from the number 2 to move through the field. Carter Thompson, some nice good points there in 6th place. And yeah, Raycat Fadilla then after that long lap penalty 7th. Hamad Al Salhuti once again moving through the field into 8th. And True Hardika and Hafui completing the top 10 there as well.
Goodness me, what a great little array of results. Lovely but show sportsmanship from Danish and Mie then. Yep. Little fist bumps. They're all comrades here, aren't they?
Wasn't it?
I don't know of any rivalries in the Asia Talent Cup. I don't know of any of the riders that don't like each other or anything like that. They all seem very chummy. They do travel around, well, Asia and Oceania together all year long. So, yeah, it's good to see.
We had some good vibes in the Accenture workshop on when was it? Thursday it was here, going through some social media and communication skills for these guys, including a little bit of English practice too. And yeah, the vibes were really good there. Some some great quotes. But you can see there then Tran Duc Thai taken to the medical centre. So hopefully the Vietnamese rider all okay and just getting checked out after that late crash for him.
Normally when we see it for a checkup, it's just a precautionary measure.
Exactly. I think it had initially come up rider okay, so hopefully he's just thinking, maybe that twinge is more than I thought, and just going to get that checked out. But another great race in the Asia Talent Cup here, and some close finishes again as well.
Yeah, very close indeed, wasn't it? So 2.72 separating Mie and Dinesh at the end. Just you can't help but think if Mie got himself together with just one sort of sector earlier, he could have actually caught up to Dinesh. What are we about to see here? This is the turn 15. This is the, not sure, the race-winning overtake maybe? I think it could be. Yeah, this should be it. The race-winning overtake. So Dinesh goes into turn 1, just round the outside, later braking, cuts across the nose of Mie in towards turn 1. And that little look behind, just to check if he's going to get anybody sent up the inside. Yeah,
great stuff.
How many times will we see this again today, hopefully?
Yeah, exactly. This final section as well is just fantastic to watch. If you haven't watched racing at Mandalika before this weekend, check out the ATC races from here last year and the World Superbike round as well, because there's some absolutely great moves with those guys as well. There you go then. Yep, he's very close to you, but you've done it again, Hakeem Dinesh. Congratulations to the Malaysian. Really stunning weekend for him here, right up into contention now after maybe a little bit more of a muted weekend in Qatar compared to what you might have expected from him being a veteran.
Yeah, I think that's a totally fair assessment from Hakeem Dinesh. Sometimes it just takes a little while to let them get going, really, wasn't it? What's this replay we're going to see? Oh, he's back in Parc Ferme now. He's with other Malaysians such as Razlan Rizali. I haven't got Fahmi Karuddin with us this weekend, I don't think.
I have not seen Fahmi. There's Rudy from Alpine Stars down in Parc Ferme as well. And our lovely camera woman getting all of the action.
But Dinesh, of course, yeah, pair of 5th places back in Qatar. So that was a quiet start to the year. We did expect a bit more given he was on podiums previously. But, hey, with those sort of the 2 performances, one of them's a runaway victory in dominant style, the other one fending off attacks right to the very last moment. I mean, he's won it in the both perfect ways possible.
Perfect.
It was.
It's a lot. It's big words.
It's like Tayo Risato from last year would win in any sort of condition. He could run away with it.
Anything you throw at me, I am going to somehow find something to still take the flag first. Yeah. So get well soon still to Tayo Risato as he waits to begin his Moto3 racing career. Still recovering. But yeah, they're big shoes to fill, aren't they? Those 7 wins from 7 for the Japanese rider last year. But Hakeem Dinesh then already doing the double in the 2022 Asia Talent Cup. So it's a really, really good start to the season to go from 5th to then taking that big step forward ahead of quite a long break for these guys.
Well, there's Shinyazawa, not so smiley here at the moment. Unfortunately, you can see from the shake of the head, he was very disappointed as he came across the finish line. That little mistake in towards turn 17, the lap before, let Mie a bit more experience overcoming exuberance.
Yeah, they both made later errors, didn't they, in that race? But Mie just had enough time left to make up for it and get back on terms almost with race winner Hakeem Dinesh. But then again, he has got quite a lot more experience. So Ozawa still should be incredibly happy with the start to the season that he's had.
Funny how the dynamic changes throughout the sort of the race, wasn't it? It was this rider there, Hakeem Dinesh, making all the mistakes earlier on in the race to the point we thought, what's happened? And then towards the end of the race, well, he's the one who kept the coolest head, whilst the other 2 made mistakes and found themselves further down the order. Got on our timing screens a 3-second penalty for Hafi, another Malaysian, as he didn't complete the long lap penalty before the end of the race. So he's been moved down to P13 on our timing screens.
It's a bit of a heartbreaker, isn't it? When you get that 3-second penalty added on, it really can make a big difference. If you're in a bit of a group or a duel, you'll drop right down in terms of the positions and therefore the points. But yeah, so it's now Putisan from Thailand completing at the top 10 as he moves up. And a few riders do. Yeah, 3 riders then leapfrogging the Malaysian.
Well, that's all part of the learning curve, isn't it? And there it is on your screens as well. We're privileged, you see. We get information before you lot do.
That makes it sound very grand. It's honestly just on the timing screen.
All the heaps of information we have. So that was a great race. So what a weekend we've had here in Mandalika so far, and particularly in the Asia Talent Cup. Their races both out of the way and both done and dusted. It will be a full schedule of Grand Prix racing coming up next. I'm sure everyone will have paid close attention to that. And not least sort of mechanics and race strategists looking at what sort of line choices, where's a bit more sketchy on the track, where they can make a pass, where they can make an advantage. I can't wait to see the Moto3 World Championship race later on. Yeah, it should be a good one, shouldn't it? It's a pretty quick turnaround these guys have had as well, from last on track yesterday to first on track today. I enjoyed a nice panic when I saw the idemitsu Asia Talent Cup Twitter account tweeting that it was about to start, and I was not quite in the box yet, but it was the hour warning, so it's all okay. Do follow the Asia Talent Cup across social media for any updates, replays. You can watch races on the majority of the channels as well, live. So definitely worth a follow to keep up with these guys, especially as we see Mario Adji, for example, going to start from the front row in the Moto3 World Championship today. It's one of the most successful paths on the road to MotoGP. Yeah, just from strength to strength, isn't it? I was just thinking as well, these riders finally get to go home now, because they didn't go home between Qatar and this one due to sort of various quarantine rules around the world. They stayed out in Qatar, did some more training, then came here to Indonesia. They did, yes. They flew, I think, the same day I did. Was it on Monday in? So they've been here a few days before the round. But yeah, now these guys, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a different mood, I think, waiting for the next round and not being all together again. But I'm sure they'll all be back in home training mode as well. So here's the final results then. Today that gap just 0.272 compared to that runaway win yesterday. Then Izawa completing the podium. You can see Adaki just got the better of Rei Wakamatsu with Carter Thompson a little bit further back. Then Fadilla after that late long lap penalty in 7th. And in the end, not too far ahead of Hamad Al-Sahuti, our now full-time rider, in 8th position, with Trihardika 9th, and then Puetisan, like we said, moving up to complete that top 10, as well as Tanat Laungplio and then An Rizwanto, Indonesian rider, in 12th, with Hafi then shuffled down to 13th place, but still a couple of points for him, with Nicholas and Isdar completing the points today. Yeah, the last of the finishers will be Zachary Akbar, the wildcard rider, despite crashing, not out, but crashing early on in the race, remounting and carrying on. Fair play to that young rider there. Good stuff. What does that do to the championship standings, though? Well, it's 1 point separating Hakim Danish and Shinya Izawa now. 72 to 71 points. Amon Adaki moves actually up a place into 3rd position. So with 54, level pegging with Hamad Al-Sahuti. Gunmi 5th for the number 5. Raykat Fadilla 6th from Wakamatsu. Puetazan and Hafi, despite getting bumped down the order due to that incomplete long lap penalty, maintains 9th position. Carter Thompson 10th from Trihardika. Nicholas Veda Ega Pratama, unfortunately without out-competing here this weekend, moves down to 13th spot. Laungplio 14th from Rizwanto. Putra and Swain in 17th. Just behind them is Dahar, and then Tranduk Tai Akbar and the Indian rider of Kintal finishing the points, the runners, I should say, in the Asia Talent Cup. 21 riders we have in the championship this year. Look at that heat haze as well in the back of that shot. Yeah, can we just stay in the commentary box? Yep, I'm going to just stay here for the rest of the day, just in the background. Well, time for the podium then. 2 Japanese flags making a Malaysian flag sandwich on the top of the podium. We await our podium finishers. Plenty more fans coming into the grandstands now to see this Asia Talent Cup podium. Unfortunately, none of their own on the podium here today, but still I can see a good amount of applause for the riders about to come out. So great to see some appreciation for some of the stars of the future. Big deal is Asia Talent Cup in this part of the world, understandably so. Indeed. I've not signed any autographs, have you? I haven't, sadly, no. Shame. There we go then. I don't think it's going to be Hakim Danish coming out on the podium quite first. Normally it's the 3rd place rider, 2nd and then 1st. So we have Shinya Izawa. So now we're on 3rd then.
I think that was maybe announcing who has won.
Yeah.
For us, it's a little bit confusing up here because we have the live voice right next to us and then the delayed voice on the live, and then we're talking over the speaker as well.
Yeah, well, the joys of commentating. Here we are. So Hakim Danish out on the podium, the top step once again here in Indonesia. What a great performance this has been. They'll be getting the trophies now. A bit of extra hand luggage needed for these guys. I'm sure the organisers will cover that sort of cost for them to take it back home, put them on the wall, or, well, do whatever they do with trophies. But surely the ones that you get from the top of a podium at a Grand Prix are going to be ones that you really want to keep around, don't you?
Absolutely.
Well, for International Smile Day, you can't wipe the smile off of Hakim Danish's face. I mean, he's a happy chappy at the best of times, but with a double victory here this weekend, he'll be beaming all the way to the next round. Second place then for Gun Mie. An improvement on the last visits that he had here. Of course, crashed out of yesterday's race, but prior to that last year, 3 times third places for him. But second place this time around. Good stuff from Gun. And then your race winner trophy coming your way shortly. Hakim Danish.
There we go, and it's the president of FIM Asia once again presenting the trophy, Stefan Karapiet. So congratulations to Hakim Danish, which means once again we'll be listening to the national anthem of Malaysia.